Well, Ulysses, it's the new year, and we've got what we think and hope is a fun episode. New Year's resolutions for our Tampa Bay Rays.
That's right. We've done this a few times now. Raise resolutions. We got a couple each, maybe one personal, one about the team. So let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other podcasting platforms available and out there. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And email us anytime. We love the voice memos, lockedonrays@gmail.com. And with that, first off, Happy New Year, everybody. 2024, can you believe it?
Oh, my goodness. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everybody is safe, and I hope everybody had a great time. I hope the adults have a headache or two. No, I'm excited, man. This 2024 season is going to be, I think, very exciting, very unique. But sometimes when something's unique, you need to be prepared for the worst as well.
Yes.
So let's get started. What about you, man? Your raised resolutions. What do you got for us today?
I've got quite a list here. In no particular order, I'm just going to throw them out there and let you and the listeners react as such. One of my resolutions for the Rays, or what the Rays should test one of their resolutions, is let's score some runs in the playoffs. Let's win a playoff game. Let's win a playoff series. It has been, since 2020 that the Rays have won a playoff series? Because they didn't win it in 2021 against the Red Sox in the divisional series. And then the last two wild cards, well, we know the stories and the outcome of those against the Guardians and Rangers, respectively. So, as much as I'd like to see the team win 99 games, 100 games, 96 games, whatever it is, let's go and take what we did in the regular season and dominate in the postseason. That's one of my first things I have.
Let's stop being the Dodgers of the East. Yeah, we dominate the regular season and then don't do anything in the playoffs, get booted out and waxed.
That's better be one of the Dodgers' resolutions after acquiring Yamamoto and Ohtani and trading for Glass now, and there's probably more in the pipeline as well.
Wow!
If they don't win a series after all that, then heads are gonna roll, I guess.
How dare you not say after they get Margot? How dare you not mention him in that group?
Watch Margot just have a total renaissance.
He is going to. Yeah. People be prepared, and people are going to be like, I knew he was my favorite player.
Sometimes it changes scenery. It takes an offseason to get healthy and get right. New organization. He's back in California where he started his career with the Padres. And I guess this would be his contract year, correct?
I believe so.
So he really has something to play for if he wants to make some additional coin in free agency. So
Indeed. That's a good one, man. We haven't had any luck in the playoffs, and gosh, you mentioned 2021, which the two games in Fenway were controversial. They were very close. They were nail biters. There were some Kevin Crash decisions there. But what sticks out to me the most now is the bleeping popcorn. Why?
Oh, yeah.
Did they have to eat the popcorn? Why?
To just put fire in the belly of the opposition. Not a good look. Yeah, there was going back, and that might even have to be an episode at some point, is just all the transpirings that occurred, good, bad, otherwise momentous, in that series. There was so much that happened. Weird caroms. rules that I didn't know about. Like, holy cow.
You have a journeyman guy who nobody thought anything of, and then boom, grand slam of Chris Sale, Jordan Luplow, Rays legend.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just on such a high level of like cloud nine, and the players were too. That's why they did the popcorn. But again, you don't do the popcorn. You don't do the popcorn in the second inning.
No,
you don't. Whatever. I'm definitely
you
not
can
over
do the
it.
popcorn after you're holding the championship ring
Yes,
for title.
do
trophy.
that exactly.
Yeah.
No,
right.
that's a good resolution, man.
Yeah, so that's one. Another one is I'd like to see the Rays make some money moves. Doesn't have to be a huge thing, but you shipped off a lot in Tyler Glass now and Manny Margot. There might be another player or two like Harold Ramirez in the future. I would like to see them also invest, whether that's getting a 1-year veteran starter in free agency or going out and finding a catcher or extending one of the young players presently on the 40-man roster. I would like to see them spend money, quite frankly. And I think that, that would be a little nice thing. We know the Rays certainly have needs. I mentioned them. They need a catcher. However, they're going to acquire that. And they're going to need another Rich Hill, Corey Kluber, Michael Wacha-esque type individual as part of that pitching group.
And maybe they go with in-house options, Basabe, Caminero, Walls for that shortstop position. But that could also be an option of just getting a veteran guy there in the middle. We have mentioned IKF as a possibility just because of the versatility. Yeah, spend money, man. But I think the whole spending money factor here, taking away that it's the Rays, it's the Bally thing. Because if Bally is going to have issues paying teams, and MLB, I think, can only pay up to 50 or 80% of what Bally would pay the Rays. Like 50, 80%. It's not 100%. So are you, as Stu, not knowing what you're going to be actually getting for 2024,
right?
That's a big question mark in how you're going to spend during the offseason, because you don't know if you're going to get 80 million or you're going to get 40 million. And again, figures just to make a point, people, not the actual figures.
Well, that's the thing, playing devil's advocate there. I mean, the Rays also have a stadium situation to contend with. They might have a whole heck of a lot of dead money with the Wander Franco situation. So there's a lot of things that they have to take into account. And look, I'm not saying that you have to go out and spend $180 million to acquire Freddie Freeman. I'm saying all I'm asking is, $7 million for,
Drew Smyly,
James Paxton or something like that. That's what I'm going for. So that's another thing that I wanted to throw out there. And I mentioned his name just a couple moments ago. Some literal resolution to the Wander Franco scenario. Like, now I want an update. I want a legitimate update on his availability or unavailability, because when healthy, when playing to his potential, he's the difference between a team winning 90 games and 98 games. He's the difference between a team slipping into the wild card or winning their division. He could be the difference between a team not scoring in a playoff game to winning a playoff series.
I want to get into this because guess what? You touched exactly on mine.
Okay.
On mine. So why don't we just tell folks something really important right now?
All right. Good little teaser there. We'll continue this, but first, we have to tell the listeners this. As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers continue to stay warm on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there is literally no better time to get in on the action than right this very moment. The app is super easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over, unders, and so much more. So go ahead, do it right now. FanDuel.com/locked on to kick off the NFL season. I'll repeat it again for the folks at home. FanDuel.com/lockdown, LOCKEDON to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, they are an official partner of the National Football League. All right, Ulises, I stole it from your mouth.
Yes.
Wander Franco, a resolution, a literal resolution in this crazy story that is.
I need to know what's going to happen with number 5. I need to know this, and I think that's probably number 1 in race fans' minds. Is like, what is going on? Because the hardest thing about life is when it's the unknowable, right? Like if you know something for certain, if it's bad or good, like, okay, whatever, we can we trudge on. But the unknowing is just it's soul crushing, man, and little by little. So in sports terms, like now you have this, like, is our guy that's going, that our promised one or chosen one for this franchise after Longo, like he's just gone? Is he not gone? Mm-hmm. Is he going to play again ever? Like, resolution. That's I need to know, because you're extremely on the point. I mean, this is an all-star at 22 years old. He's a guy that can change the game. Just change the game just by himself, with his speed, with his defense, with his hitting for contact, with his hitting for power.
If not for Shohei Ohtani, he might be the best, most talented player in all of baseball.
Yeah, he's in the podium because of his age too. So, if he's doing this at 22, what can he do at 26, at 28? I mean, is this, he could do so many things. So the fact that everybody here in race fandom is in limbo, not knowing anything. We know nothing, and nobody knows anything. I don't think Eric Neander knows anything. I don't think Kevin Cash knows anything. It's probably Wander Franco and the lawyers and the people that are doing the investigation in MLB and in the Dominican Republic who know something.
And tied into that, what I also want to know is if he's available to play, what do the Rays do? Do they keep him around, or do they try to trade him? Because I don't know how you navigate the PR disaster that could be. You already removed him from the locker room and from the banners and all public facing walls, I guess you should say. And we know about his history of getting along or not getting along with fellow teammates. There's a lot of wonderment I have with him do the players even want him back in the fold based on his based on the allegations and based on his past dealings with teammates, or if it's like good riddance. Okay, if he's available to play, I really hope that the Rays trade him. I just have a lot of questions that swirl and circulate in my mind.
I'll tackle the second thing you said first, which is, how do the players feel about him? I saw an interview of Jose Siri in the Dominican Republic. It was in Spanish.
Okay.
And they did ask him at the end about Wander Franco, and he was like, yeah, we really don't know anything, but he's a very talented guy. I love him like a brother, and I hope everything's gonna go well for him. So at least from Jose Siri, he has no problem with Wander Franco, at least not publicly, and he's not.
Or at least he knows how to answer a question or not really answer a question.
Exactly.
But it certainly got bad enough in the clubhouse where
you're airing it out in public. Yeah, you're not playing for the next 2 days. So yes, some players might be rubbed off wrong, but again, if the allegations are proven to not be true, then I don't think there would be animosity within the clubhouse, because then it's like, I think the animosity would be like, are you a good teammate? Are you going to be a good teammate now? because if the allegations are proven false, then they can't really hold on that against them. At least they shouldn't. But it would be more like, are you mature now? Are you going to be a good teammate for us? So that's my answer to your second one. But your first one is, do the Rays trade him? I think the Rays are so good at trading at the right time and getting maximum value on players that this would be the antonym of good
this
timing.
would be as sell low as possible because he hasn't played in some time. There's everything. There's a black cloud surrounding him. It's clearly we just don't want him part of the organization, and we'll basically take whatever to get him off our hands and to get that contract off our hands.
And you can't do that. You can't do that. You as an organization that wants to be competitive and profit, like, you can't do that. You can't just sell low on a guy who could be a perennial all-star. Like, you just can't do that. Now, again, if the allegations are proven to be false, then I don't see how most of the fandom wouldn't welcome Wander back.
Yeah. And I think over time they certainly would. I mean, look, apples and oranges a little bit here, but what Ben Roethlisberger went through when he was a young player, nobody was talking about that or hearkening back or referencing that, what he was accused of or what he did. 3, 5, 6, 8 years later when he had a couple Super Bowl rings. So that's another thing is like, okay, weather the storm, weather the media inquiries and the PR battle that is, but just know that in this 24-hour news cycle, there's always going to be a next thing, and just, wait till 2026 and all people are going to be talking about is Wander Franco MVP candidate. They're not going to be talking about Wander Franco allegation this, allegation that, if he's able to keep his head on the straight and narrow.
Right, exactly. That's contingent upon that second part of that sentence. But yeah, I obviously there's nothing of absolute value in the world anymore, and people just like to just be contrarian. So obviously, there's going to be a part of the fandom that even if the allegations are proven to be false, they would never see him the same way. They would not cheer for him. They would be upset that the Rays are employing him. But I think that would be a minority. I think, again, if the allegations are proven to be false, I think the majority of the Rays fandom would be sighing the biggest sigh of relief about baseball that they ever have, and would be content. They would be like, okay, we're past that. Now I hope we can be a good player for us again. Like, I think that's how most of the fandom would be. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think most of the fandom would act that way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out, and if he is available to play again, how the Rays handle and navigate that, and kind of slowly, surely, methodically bring back the merchandise and the banners and the billboards and everything that comes with having one of the most, if not most talented 22-year-old baseball player that is out there. And I'll just say this to kind of flip everything on its head. If he is found guilty or the allegations are proven true and he's not available to play again, what is the status of that long-term contract? Do the Rays have an out clause? Do they have a character clause? Do they have something that says we don't have to pay the $176.1 million remaining on that contract?
I would think that a contract of that magnitude, of that much money, would have a certain clause of saying if you the player, I mean, if there are clauses about like, hey, you can't ride motorcycles, hey, you can't play
basketball in the off season or go skiing or whatever.
Right. If you have those, there's definitely have to be a clause of like, hey, if you are found to be a felon, or if you are incriminated in whatever, abroad or domestically, the thing is off. Like, there has to be a
cause. Yeah. I would hope that there is something that would not hamstring them to that type of deal. So we'll we'll wait and see what happens with Wander.
Now,
yeah.
I do have a personal one, and I'm going to take it off you because I know it's something that you have practiced
Mm-hmm.
on X, and I try to practice it, but I get baited, so I don't.
Oh, it happens.
I'm going to have to stop replying to people that don't have their picture nor have their name on Twitter. Can't do it.
It's a
Won't do
Russian
it.
bot.
Or it's just a 12-year-old, or it's a 55-year-old with Cheeto dust on his shirt in his mom's basement.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have that. Not
Yeah.
doing it anymore. So if I'm interacting with you on Twitter, it's because either I know you, because you've reached out to us in the past and you're a fan of the show, and fine, cool, like you're dope. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Or somebody that I know that maybe we saw each other at the Trop or whatever. But I am done with the
The
avatars,
trolls.
the
The
troll.
haters.
That's my resolution. I'm going to be done with that. So wish me luck, everybody.
That's a great resolution. I think more people should employ that strategy. Yeah, a little bit ago, and quite frankly, I just really haven't had the time or bandwidth to dive into social media like that. But my social media use lately, I mean, for finding news and reading storylines and so forth. But as far as posting, I retweet something like once a month, and then I'm out of there. I'm done. So that's kind of what I've done. But it is fun to play around and interact and all that. And we do try to have some games and have some fun on the Lockdown Rays X account. So you'll continue to see that. But yeah, you don't want to get sucked in by the negative folks out there. It's just really bad. So I'm glad you brought that up. As far as a personal resolution for me, one thing is just like you maybe get frustrated by a negative comment or two on X or Instagram or whatever it may be. I get frustrated when I have a bad golf shot or two and it ruins my entire day, ruins my entire round, and I don't have fun and it feels like wasted money. So not getting so, I guess, emotionally invested or trying to have letting cooler heads prevail in certain instances and cases. Just got to control my emotions a little bit better, I should say, whether it's golf, whether it's personal life, whatever it may be.
Do you go Happy Gilmore in the golf course?
Not to that extent, but I have thrown a club or two. And I have let out a curse word or two.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
We need a Locked On Race camera. We need a Locked On Race camera footage following you around the golf course to watch.
Yeah, I'd be fired at that point. That would not be good.
Okay.
And there's a lot worse people out there, a lot worse behavior out there, I should say. But that's something that I'm trying to focus on, as well as just personal betterment, eating healthier, getting better sleep, maybe drinking less, maybe applying for a master's degree. We'll see. A lot of stuff on the table.
Look at that. And next year's 2024 is a big year for you, man. Personally, too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So won't reveal all the cards with that, but yes, 2024 should bring some big things around spring training. Actually.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm looking forward to spring training. I'm hoping that, not to go too off on a tangent here, but spring training. Well, have they reported it that it's going to be back at Port Charlotte?
I don't know. And actually, we got an email, somebody asking us exactly that question. I believe they haven't said it's going to be the Trop or it's Port Charlotte, but I would think that Port Charlotte would be the place.
Yeah, I would hope that it's been long enough to repair the damage from the hurricane. There's just, as much as I like going to the Trop in the middle of the summer when, it's 1,000 degrees and there's storm showers every afternoon, spring training baseball should be reserved for the outdoors.
Yes. 100%. 1,000%. There's just something like it's renewal.
Yes.
It's springtime. It's very nice. It's very nice for the soul. It's very good for yourself and the body. And there's something really cool about spring training outside, and definitely in Port Charlotte.
The sun coming out. There's a little bit of a breeze. You get a shaded area. Have a brewski or two, a hot dog, some popcorn, whatever it is. And enjoy, a couple innings of the big leaguers. And then for the other 7 or 8 innings, you get to watch guys you've never heard of before and probably never will hear of again.
Yeah. And then those guys are living their dream. So you're actually seeing other human beings live their dream. It's a pretty cool thing to go to a spring training game.
If you get a chance, I mean, it's always cool to experience multiple in other ballparks. Port Charlotte's great, but just getting a taste of, where the Red Sox play, where the Twins play, where the Yankees play, where the Blue Jays play, where the Phillies play. I mean, that's kind of the heartbeat of Tampa Bay spring training baseball all over the place. There's games and opportunities. Orioles, Pirates. I mean, I could go on down the list. So there it is for the New Year's resolution episode. If you have some resolutions, personal or Rays related, hit it up in the comments there or the chat. Comments preferred, I think, on YouTube, or hit us up in an email. I would like to hear what some other people are thinking and conjuring up with that. But in the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful start to 2024, and we will talk to you soon.